got a question for each of you. First of all, Mr. President Zelensky, you look fabulous in that suit.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, you look good.
I said the same thing.
Yeah, looks good.
I said the one that attacked you last time. See, that was it. I remember that.
Yeah, I apologize to you. You look wonderful. No, my first question for you, President Zelensky.
In the same suit. You see, I changed you.
Maybe you're.
We got a little bromance going on there with the president of Ukraine, Brian. Yeah, good comeback.
Yeah.
Good comeback.
Yeah, I'll give him some credit. He came up with a good one, and I think it was a very lighthearted exchange, very different, Eric, than the first meeting that Zelensky had in the White House. But yes, I had to go ahead and compliment the president, Zelensky, on his attire, and you know, of course, he had some fun poking with me. Which, by the way, for the record, this is not the same suit I was wearing. I have multiple blue-toned suits, but it was a great joke. And you know, I've had a lot of media here pull me aside and say, you know, is that the same suit? Is he right? I said, look, are you mad? What's your comment? I said, man, we're having some fun. I'm just glad he's in there negotiating for peace, really, with the president. And I think today was a very different Zelensky than we saw back in February.
That was a class act by you, not calling out Zelensky for saying, oh, no, it's a different suit. And Trump loved it. You saw Trump very happy. But let's talk a little about that. So the demeanor, obviously, in that moment right there was positive. They're laughing, a little jocular, hitting each other on the back a little bit. Kind of felt the way Putin and Trump were kind of smacking each other on the shoulder and the back on Friday as well in Alaska. Then they went to the multilateral meeting with all the European leaders at the table. It seemed, I don't know, it just seems like we're going to get something there. But again, when you get down to it, Brian, Putin still wants that portion of Ukraine, the Crimea plus the other portion of Ukraine. Yeah. And Zelensky said, we're not going to give it up at any cost. Is there a deal to be had, you think?
Yeah, that's a great point. I don't know. They're in still the East Room right now meeting, and then they were going to join again in the Oval Office, and Trump was going to make that call to President Putin and maybe come up with some type of solution. But to your point, I don't know where we go from here. But it was a very unified table, though. Matter of fact, one of the people there even said it's Europe, it's all of Europe and the U.S. coming together for the same cause. We all want peace, and of course, I think that is the ultimate goal. But we are missing one person in here that ultimately can veto all of this, and that is Putin. But we'll see how that phone call goes a little bit later. But my biggest takeaway, Eric, from the Oval Office is that it was a very different situation. If you remember last time, you had Vice President J.D. Vance jumping in there and saying, if I can, Mr. President, for just a second, and calling Zelensky out for kind of grandstanding in front of the media. And that really sent the meeting south. Well, I think it went south a lot earlier than that. But different tone today, and a very different Zelensky today that we saw. And I think President Trump was in an excellent mood. I mean, he's got a lot on his plate right now. Think about all the stuff domestically that's going on, and then at the same time, he's trying to solve a major war between two countries. So I think it was a very polished President Trump, a very polished and disciplined Zelensky, which led to the tone today, which hopefully they'll conclude here shortly, and we'll have some type of next step, which could be as soon as Friday. Yeah, right. I've been told, right. If everything goes as planned. Yeah.
By the end of the White House keeps telling us if there's something to talk about with Putin and Zelensky together trilaterally, it could happen as soon as this week.